I was watching this clip of young Pharaoh talking about he's been abducted by aliens and he don't believe in your God. And I wanted to ask you guys a question. Would you be friends with someone that said they didn't believe in God? Would you marry them? Would you date them? Would you want to be around people that said they didn't believe in God or they didn't believe in your God? But let's go further. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. When you say that you are a Christian, is there a certain way you're supposed to carry yourself? Is there certain things you're supposed to say, certain clothes you're supposed to wear, certain things you can't wear? I was listening to this one clip, and I'm gonna play it for you guys or whatever. And you just listen and you guys tell me what you think. Do you think that Christians should act different from people that are non-Christians? So y'all let me know what y'all think about this clip right here, whatever case may be.
Verbal abuse, calling women whores and prostitutes at the pulpit is a form of verbal abuse. I would just like to say
Good
that if you
morning.
did not know.
If you had a daughter, would you rather have your daughter walk on the street half naked with her breasts hanging out?
Of course not. I mean, I'm
Why
a
not?
woman.
What's up, YouTube? Plum Man Podcast back with another video. Give me the HBO special. That's the Help
Salute,
Without
fair
special.
use.
Hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Let's get right into the video.
From Yaden. What's going on, Abby?
Hi, Mr. Harris. How are you?
Amazing. We have Pastor Gino Jennings here.
Yes, and I heard Mr. He was making a good morning, Pastor Jennings.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Okay, now let me ask you this, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
In the Bible, God states, "Come as you are," right?
No.
So,
Can I interject?
Okay. Wait, I didn't cut you off. Wait a minute, please.
Okay.
Be little,
Yes,
show a
ma'am.
little respect, okay? Now, I'm just asking you, do you see, like, where I'm
She
trying
asked
to
the
go?
question, so
If
he was
somebody
kind of
has a pair
supposed to
of
interject
jeans
there,
and they don't
but
have a dress, or somebody pants is sag. Okay, for instance, an inmate might just come home from prison and when it comes to your church. They give him a brown inmate jacket. And they say, you know what, I want.
Do you guys think church should be come as you are? Like I've been to different churches in my time or whatever, and some churches was like, people address it's almost like a fashion show up in there, and then other churches are kind of like, come as you are. Do you guys think that church should be come as you are? Lisa D said yes, come as you are. Come as you are. I always wanted to ask that question to because I've been to some churches and it's like they dress to the T. It's like they can go straight to the walkway, the runway with the the clothes that they're wearing. And then some people it's just like, man, just throw on some t-shirt and some jeans and we up in this thing or whatever case may be. That's interesting though.
I want to get my soul saved. I know I've been living right. I want to come to Christ. And that's all that man has to wear to church. And he comes up in your church, you're going to refuse and tell him he can't come here because he's just been out of prison? No, you accept him as he is because you don't know who you're passing by according to what you see in your eyesight. That's judgmental. And God didn't judge anyone.
First of all, we don't turn no one away when they come to church, regardless of what they have on. And from that perspective, that's not even what I'm dealing with. That's not what I was dealing with even when I was teaching. What I'm dealing with is the way our women look today who already claim they're saved. We're not dealing with anyone who only have one piece of clothing to wear. The stage of the churches today, if you go into churches, regardless of practically any church, a Christian woman and a woman that's not saved are not supposed to look the same, act the same, be the same.
exactly. And that was one of the problems that I had with church in particular. The people who were a part of church were doing the same thing. And I noticed this as a kid. I'm talking about I was
Good morning.
very, very religious when I was 7th, 8th grade. I read the entire Bible. What kid do you know in 7th, 8th grade reading the entire Bible? I've read it about 3 or 4 times. I was ultra religious at one point. But then I started to notice that the people that were in the church were doing the same things as the people that were outside of the church. Then I asked myself, why are people identifying as Christian if they're not doing things or even trying to do things according to the Bible? And I learned that a lot of people identify as Christian just so they can virtue signal. And I see it happen with other religions too. A lot of people identify as Muslim, but they eating pork, they cursing all the time, and they're not conducting themselves in a way that...
Let me stop that right there. So do you guys think that Christians should carry themselves differently from people that say that they are non-Christian? or non-denominational, or whatever? Should there be a higher standard or lower standard, or should people just be people? And I think a lot of times when we start talking about like religion and politics, people kind of shy away. They really don't want to have their thoughts. But for those people that really want to have that tough conversation and listen in on that conversation, do you think that Christians should be held to a higher standard? You know, Black Truth says most people are hypocrites. I truly believe that. I know that I was going to this one church, and they were full of mess. They were full of drama. The first lady was sleeping with everybody. The pastor was sleeping with everybody. It was just a bunch of drama. It was really a reality TV show. And it was more about who had what titles in the church. Like this was bishop, deacon, Pentecostal, Jehovah Witness. Like it was just like who had what title in the church, and who was the choir director. Like it was just all about titles, and it really was it really went away from learning or being closer to God or understanding what God was all about. So I personally think that if you say that you're a part of, I don't want to say I guess an organization that represents something that is supposed to have a certain standard, I think you should carry yourself accordingly. But this guy goes on to say that well, should a Christian woman or man look different than a person that is non-denominational, don't believe in God or whatever? Should there be a difference in their actions, how they talk, and what they wear? You know what I'm saying? So let's listen to the rest of this.
A Muslim probably should, according to the Quran. And so as I seen that as a kid, and I seen nobody taking accountability for their own actions, a lot of people would try to pray away their accountability, and people would do things throughout their lives. And instead of using the church as a way to continue to be accountable, people would try to pray away all of the things that they did wrong. And when you pray away the things that you do wrong, you don't have to take any action. So I would see all the time people doing things, and because they can just go pray and ask for forgiveness, they would never really fix themselves. And I didn't see a lot of people developing into better people.
Do you think that's an issue in some communities, that everybody thinks that in order to fix something you have to pray it away? Like it requires little to no action, that if you just pray it away, it'll get better, it'll get fixed. I think a lot of people have come into that regard, that praying for something to happen or not to happen, or to be fixed is the best thing to do before you actually try to do the action, before you actually try to fix it. Lisa D says faith without work is BS. I believe that. That's a great statement. A great statement.
So that's when I kind of started to distance myself from that environment.
If any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. Old things have passed away. So if old things have passed away, not only my character changed, but my appearance should change. Explain to me, why would any decent woman want to walk the street with her breasts hanging out? Why is it all right to do? Why would any decent woman want to walk the streets with shorts so short everything in the shorts is out the shorts?
Facts.
What is so decent about it? To have your 10-year-old daughter, your 12-year-old daughter, your 13-year-old daughter looking like a prostitute. What is so decent about it? What is so decent?
Do you think that your 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl should look like the females on Instagram? How many people feel like that's okay? How many people feel like they should be taking selfies? They should be posting them online. They should, be half dressed or whatever case may be. Now, a lot of people right now are gonna be like, nope, hell no. But the fact of the matter is, these things are happening. These Instagram models are getting younger and younger, and then those people that value that type of, view or viewership, they're actually subscribing to that narrative. So my thought process is, should there be a difference? Should there be a standard set? You have a lot of people say, it doesn't matter what I wear because I'm confident in myself, so you need to respect me. But a lot of people have that title of Christian. So my thought process is, if I could drive a Bentley, right? And you could drive a Bentley, right? We both driving Bentleys. But I say that I'm a part of, this elite organization, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we have these standards, we have these rules, we carry ourselves a certain type of way, but you're not a part of the organization. You don't believe in, that organized situation or whatever, and you kind of just doing you. And where I'm at, I gotta pay fees, I gotta pay dues or tithe, I gotta listen to the pastor, I gotta listen to the first lady, I gotta sing in a choir. But over here, I ain't gotta do all that, but I still get the perks of what it is that you do. I think that's kind of how I kind of see things or whatever. Yeah, I like to say that I'm a Christian. I like to say I belong to this church, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you find these same people doing, well, yeah, we in the club, and yeah, we drinking, and yeah, we smoking, and yeah, we twerking. Should there be a difference? Should there be a difference? So I like the conversation that's being held right now. Should there be a difference in Christians versus people that are not Christians?
About the women half naked in the club, and you come in the church and they look the same way on the choir, on the playing the instruments, being ushers. What is so decent about it? You mean to tell me we're living in a society that's upset with me because I'm encouraging our women to put clothes on?
Exactly.
That's the height of ignorance.
A lot of women are calling in and they're mad because they're like, you're only going at, and I know you talked about this earlier, you touched it earlier. What do the men, what do you say about the men and their appearance and how they act?
Before he gets into that, I want to say that that's universal. Anytime you hold women accountable for anything, you're going to be seen as controversial. Even if you're telling women, hey, just put more clothes on if you want to be counted as Christian.
But see, I hear what he's saying. I hear what he's saying, and put more clothes on, et cetera, et cetera. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's a woman's choice? Like, do you think that is a person's choice? Like, you buying your clothes, you paying your bills. Do you think that it's a woman's choice to be able to wear what they want to wear? Me personally, I'm like, man, wear whatever you want to wear. You know what I'm saying? I don't take care of you. Like, we're not in a relationship. If that's what you want to wear, then salute to you. So I kind of feel like in this case, it's almost like somebody telling you what to do in your household. You can't tell me what to do in my household. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Lisa D said, I think God gave us free will, but he gives us a brain as well. I totally agree with it. Y'all spot on in the comment section. I totally agree with it. I think that you should do what makes you feel comfortable. I think you should do what makes you feel comfortable, but you should also understand that sometimes people are not going to be comfortable with what you're comfortable with. You see what I'm saying? And I think I'm going to be honest with you. Of course, I like to see an attractive woman or whatever case be. And in this case, a lot of people say less is more. Less clothing means more sexy or sex appeal or whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's cool to look at. But me personally, I think that, what I'm saying, I've seen women that dress a certain type of way, and they're not exposed. Like they do, have a certain level of professionalism, and they carry themselves a certain and have bodies out of this world. Like, you can still see their body, but you can't necessarily, like, they can dance. They don't have to continue to walk and pull down their skirts, you know what I'm saying? Or they can move, their torso, and ain't got to worry about their chest popping out. So my question to you guys is, do you feel that people should have freedom to wear what they want to wear without being judged? And I think that's one of the key questions. I think you should have the freedom to wear what you want to wear, but I think you should also have the common sense to know that people will judge you depending on how you dress, depending on how you act. You see what I'm saying? Because if everybody looks the same, how can you tell you apart? If everybody looks the same, if the Christian woman looks like the woman that stay in the club, if the Christian woman looks like the woman that is walking the street, how can you tell who is who? Like, who has virtue and who doesn't? Who's going to be a good wife and who ain't? Who's going to be a good companion and who's not? So I think there's validity in that. Billionaire, I see you.
It says in the Bible here to be modest. You'll get backlash as a pastor, as a spiritual leader, for telling people you should dress more appropriately before you come into the church. That's insane to me. What are you even going to church for if you're not allowing your pastor to pass judgment on you? He's supposed to be...
I don't know if I want no pastor passing. Listen, I feel like nobody's perfect though. I feel like nobody is perfect. I think that when I go to church, and I'm coming to kind of get, um, of course, I'm coming to get a message. I'm coming to get the interpretation of the meaning of what God has for me, for my life. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like, I want to definitely be comfortable. I see a lot of guys, and then definitely, I'm definitely guilty of it. Depending on what church it is, hey, let me put this suit on, let me put the tie on, let me, make sure I'm, right, I'm presentable. But do you get the same message as you would as a come as you are church? Would you get the same type of message? Would it be the same type of God, the same type of Bible, the same type of songs, the same type of hymns? So I'm trying to figure out, what I'm saying, of course, to each his own and to what you're comfortable with. But I think that we're putting a lot of emphasis on clothing and not emphasis on the person. I think it's important to get to know people for them. And that's how you develop that uniqueness. Like I could see a woman that's attractive, that has a nice body or whatever, that carries herself a certain type of way. But I think it's important that if I'm interested in that woman, to talk to her and have a conversation and not to just judge her. But I think that a lot of times, you get so caught up in what the mass do. You see what I'm saying? The mass is all about, what I'm saying, hey, I'm a bad bitch and I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. And it's like all of these titles. It's hard to take a woman that is about something and then because you're looking at the masses and then you see her. It is hard to separate. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard to separate. Like, I don't know how you women do it. I don't know how you women do it. Like, I don't know how you, like, for guys, I mean, it's I don't see guys just walking around on a daily basis with with half shirts and tank. I don't see that, but it is very difficult to, if a woman decides to say, you know what, these are the type of clothing that I'm going to wear. It is very difficult to tell you apart from a woman that wears the same type of clothing that you would consider to be kind of wild and kind of this and kind of that. Like when you see Meg Thee Stallion, me personally, I don't know if you guys salute Meaty. I don't know if when you see Meg Thee Stallion, let me ask you in the comments, what type of woman, like without knowing who Meg Thee Stallion was, right? But if you saw Meg Thee Stallion, kind of like in real life, like Meg Thee Stallion's from Texas, what would you think? What would be your narrative on her? What would you think? Would you think that she was like, oh, this is a professional woman? Like this is, what would you guys think? I'm streaming on my Facebook page too. That's why I'm looking off to the side. So what would you guys think if you saw Meg Thee Stallion? What would you feel about Meg Thee Stallion and the way she dressed and the way she carried herself? When she stick out her tongue, how would you got what would you characterize her as? Kind of looking at two things or whatever case would be. Somebody said I wouldn't think that she's professional and I wouldn't make her my wife. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. But here's the thing, man. You kind of, to me, you dress the part. You arrive to the occasion looking your best. And if your best is saying, okay, this is me looking sexy. This is me feeling. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think as time goes on, I think that, less and less clothing is required. I'm gonna be honest with you. And do you ever go out to a bar or a lounge or whatever case may be, and people are dancing or whatever case may be? Says Megan is an entertainer. You can be sexy in a full length dress. Yes, Lisa D, you are exactly right. You are exactly right. But this is my point. My point is, you know how you get with you get with your guy friends, you get with your girlfriends or whatever case when you go out, right? So we go out, whatever. And I noticed that it is very difficult for like, you ever seen like women with like skirts, like they're so, like when they're walking, they're literally trying to pull them down. Like they cannot, they're the whole night they're like trying to keep their skirt from coming up or keep their breast from popping out. Have you guys ever seen that? To me personally, I don't feel like you're having a good time. I don't feel like you're relaxed. I don't feel like you're comfortable. You definitely can't dance. And if you start dancing, you know what I'm saying, if you wear underwear, I mean your whole private parts is hanging out. So my thought process is, do you guys think that they're living their best life? They're having fun? Do you think that somebody's saying, yeah, she wifey material? You know what I'm saying? Imagine if that was your girlfriend or your wife going to the club like that. And it's like, I gotta continue to behind the bar salute. Roger says, some of that stuff feel like it's attention seeking. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think attention seeking is at an all-time high. I really think so. I think that a lot of people feel like they need to, in order to be seen, in order to be called sexy, in order to be a part of the crowd, I need to look this type of way. I need to act this type of way. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of women like now, to me, and I use Meg Thee Stallion or whatever. Okay, salute to her, man. She's doing big things or whatever. But I see a lot of people trying to emulate. You know what I'm saying? And of course, before Meg Thee Stallion, Little Kim, there's a lot of people doing the same thing. But I'm using that because it's interesting, because it's interesting because you see a lot of people trying to emulate. Okay, I want to be a hot girl. And my question is, are hot girls getting married? Are hot girls, you know what I'm saying, professional? Are hot girls, you know what I'm saying, great partners? To me, it seems like it's very difficult to find a relationship in today's time because it's all about attention. It's all about, you know what I'm saying, outdressing. It's all about, being flashy and loud, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not really about having conversations. It's not really about building family. It's more about, okay, well, I'm the baddest, and I'm the hardest, this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Scarlett says, yep, too much inconsistently fixing your outfit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. I seen a young lady and I was like, man, yo, she is gorgeous. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, and I was, I'm working on making my move. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there wasn't nothing recent, but I remember seeing this woman and I was like, man, let me go and see if she would like to dance. And the whole night it was like she couldn't move. I mean, she was sexy, but she was literally standing in one place. And I was like, I wonder is she having fun? You know what I'm saying? So after a while or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I got, I said, let me go over and, holler at her, whatever. We having a conversation or whatever. And I said, would you like to dance? And she was like, oh, I would, but I can't, but we can stand right here. And she started moving the shoulders. It's like, what is she doing? What are you doing? But I was just like, you can't. I guess there's a price to be sexy when you see. But then it's funny because it's like, the other women that actually had on garments that would cover them, they're running to the dance floor to dance, and it's like, well, I would go out there, but. And I'm like, then why come out in that if that's the cost that you have to pay? Like, I'm not going to be able to dance. I'm not going to be able to move. You know what I'm saying? I think she dropped something and said, oh, can you get that for me? I'm like, so you can't grab your own keys? I just don't see. I think that there's a method to the madness, and I know that there's a cost, I guess, to be sexy out there. You women, y'all go through a lot. Y'all go through a lot to like promote y'all sexy. Seriously, you go through a lot or whatever. But I feel like Meaty says not all, but some women like validation from others, not harping on their own self-worth and value. Yep, I definitely hear you. Lisa D says the role model given shows less is better rather than how to look good and covered up. I like what you just said about the role model. I like what you said about the role model. I think depending on who that woman's role model is, who she looks up to, who she thinks is valuable, I think that's who she emulates. Because here's the thing. Would you ever think that you would see Michelle Obama dressed like Meg Thee Stallion? Let's take the first lady out of it. Take the first lady out of it, right? Do you guys think that you would ever see Michelle Obama dressed like Meg Thee Stallion? Why? Both African American females, right? Both celebrities to a certain extent, right? Let's take the first lady out of it. Let's just say her personality. Why would you think that there would be a difference? I'm recording in 2 places. Somebody says she's a lawyer, duh. Don't talk to me like that. Do not talk to me like that. Okay? Trump wife was the exact opposite. You're exactly right, Roger. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. I think to each his own. I think that there's a man out there and there's a woman out there for everybody. That's what I believe. I think that you should find someone that fits your character and your personality, someone that you can grow old with and spend time with or whatever. I think that if you encourage, I think that we as men need to do less of saying, look at how they're dressing, look at how they dress. Bro, I don't, more power to you. I think the conversation comes in, did you pursue her knowing that she was dressing like that? Because my thought process is don't try to get her and now change her. You understand what I'm saying? I want a woman that knows, well, when I'm going to daycare, you know what I'm saying? I can't dress like I'm going to the club. You know what I'm saying? When I'm going to church, I can't dress like I'm going to the club. You know what I'm saying? When I'm going to a business meeting, I can't dress like I'm going. I want someone to understand their lane and to be able to go up and down or side to side or whatever. That's the type of woman that I think a lot of men want or whatever case may be, but I don't think they're vocal about it. And I do think that sometimes when you start talking about, you know what I'm saying, women, I think people only get stuck on one narrative where, you know, they dress like a hoe, so they must be a hoe. And I think that's a bad analogy. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like if you're going to the club seeing these women, it's different from if you're going to church seeing these women. Like if you say if you're saying, okay, all these women in here dressed like hoes, but you at the club. You see what I'm saying? You at the club, and your analogy is coming from a club base versus saying, okay, we're sitting down and we're talking about a business strategy. We're developing a business plan or whatever. Are all the women in there dressed like hoes then? Like, I mean, I think people are not realistic with the concept, or they just get turned away. And a lot of men don't know how to articulate what it is that they mean. They mean, okay, well, all the women in the club kind of dress the same. They kind of look the same, kind of got that same energy or whatever. So it's hard to tell who's who. It's hard to say, well, everybody looks the same. So it's almost like, let me just close my eyes and say, okay, I'll talk to her. I'll go talk to her because, you see what I'm saying? And I think that it's important for women to hear this perspective. You know what I'm saying? Not telling you what to do, but it's important to hear from a male to say, if everybody looks the same, how do you know who's who? How do you know who's who? Something to think, just something to think about. Something to think about.
Closer to the model you want to become in the future. If he's not allowed to tell you the things that you're doing right and wrong, then how are you ever going to expect to get better? That never made sense to me. So at some point, we lost that accountability in the church, or the church lost that accountability. And
I don't think men should police women. Like I don't think like women that are not like their daughters or their like you know what I'm saying. I don't even think you should police your wife. I think they should have the knowledge and the common sense to do things for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And I think that as fathers or husbands, I think we should instill that confidence in them. I think when you encourage your children, you encourage your spouse your sister. You encourage the women around you and the children around you with self-confidence. You validate them. You provide affirmation for them. They don't have to go seek it. I think when you provide a void, and what they do is say, well, how can I go get the attention and the validation? How do I do that? Okay, well, this is what I need to wear in order to get that attention and that validation. But if you're doing it at home, if you're hugging and you're saying, wow, you are beautiful today, and if you're doing those things, to me, that triggers something in that person's mind, like, I'm beautiful, and this is coming from my dad or my man or whatever. I don't need to do anything extra. You see, I don't need to do what everybody else is doing. So I just think that, we need to do a better job, especially as parents and partners, to make sure that we're providing that affirmation and that validation for, the people that we're dealing with around us in our circle. Because when you don't, people seek it elsewhere, and they understand that seeking it elsewhere means that they have to go above and beyond. And a lot of people, I'm gonna be honest with you, you may feel sexy. It may feel sexy to say, I'm wearing this skin tight dress and I can't move, I can't dance. You may feel sexy, but are you having fun? Are you dancing? Are you enjoying yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people would say, well, I'm used to it now. I'm used to going out and not being able to dance. I just want to listen to the music, get a couple drinks, have great conversation. And for those people, that works. But I'm saying when it's a constant, because there's a lot of people, like you go to the merengue club, the salsa club, Jamaican club, people out there, wilding out and kicking it and having a great time. And for you just to kind of be standing in the corner by the bar, like, that looks so much fun. I'm just saying, man, just make sure that you dress according to how much fun you actually want to have. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect to stand in a corner all night, because I think that to me that's boring, but I mean, to some it might be the thing to do.
And I think it was somewhere in maybe the mid 2000s when the church seemed to be more about money than it was about the people in the church. Oh, we'll accept you if you do this, or we'll accept you if you do that, because we want your money on Sunday. We want that tithes and offering. And if we say we don't agree with your behavior, you feel more shame.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There are a lot of great pastors out there, but there are a lot of pastors that are crooks as well. There are a lot of people like, I don't know why you got 5 Bentleys and 16 boats and 4 mansions and 16 planes, and and your congregation is struggling. Your congregation behind on their bills. Your congregation got hospital bills and school loans, and I don't know, man. To me, church has become not all, but some. A lot of it's become like this pimpish type thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, now I'm gonna lay down this word. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all put that money in the tithe. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got 3 offerings. We got the doorknob offering. We got the light offering. Pastor need gas offering. So it's become this thing. Like, man, it's just like, man, dude, I gotta go to. Going to church is like going to the club. You're like, man, dude, I bought 3 drinks, man. That shit was like $80. You go to church like, what offering is this? Okay, all right, let me see. I still got to pay that light bill tomorrow. Okay, let me see if I cash app. Okay, if I ask them, okay, let me see if I can cash app. Get this cash app. He owed me that, so I'm gonna go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put some on it. I'm gonna put some on it. Church like going to the club, bro. Like, seriously, man. Look, like 18 tithes. I sat in there, I was like, bro, I came in here with $100. I left out here with $25. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, church get money.
You're less likely to come to the church. So we're just gonna say we accept all behavior as long as you paying that tithes and offering, and you could just go ahead and pray away whatever you're doing.
I am very adamant about the men when it comes down to respecting the women. We believe that the man should respect the woman. Do not verbally abuse the woman. Don't by any means beat the woman. You can't even stay in our church if you're physically beating your woman. We believe that you should be arrested. and you should be locked up. If you're going to have a child by a woman, have enough decency to take care of the child.
These seem like
Most
good
of our
morals
young
and
men
standards to
today,
me.
They're making babies. But it's not even in them. It's like they act like it's not even in their character to take care what they have.
Right.
So a lot of these women are what? They are single mothers, and they have become mother and father. And yet these type of men, many of them, still go to church. And these type of issues are not being addressed, period. So no, we encourage our brothers, by all means, don't be out here with your pants hanging down, showing your drawers. We're living in a society where this is so norm to see grown men. Hey man, when I came up, man, our pants was up. Our underwear, that's why it's called underwear. They should be under your clothes.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I seen something the other day. I seen a guy walking down the street that had skinny jeans and he was sagging his pants. And I'm like, bro, like, and I'm driving, and, you know, and I'm bad at this, y'all. I'm bad at it. I'd be like, hey, you know, cause it'd be hot, it'd be hot. I'd be like, hey, if you need a ride, you know. But I was just like, man, I don't want him to put his ass on my seat. I just don't want his ass cheeks on my seats. I don't know what's going on with his. So no, please. I was just like, nah, man. I don't know, man. The whole sagging the pants or whatever. I don't remember if I used to do maybe baggy, but not no like sagging to the point where, you know, my drawers is showing or whatever. That to me ain't never been cool or whatever case may be. I mean, if that's what you do or you allow, then it is what it is. But I think it's interesting to me because I think when you dress a certain type of way, you send a message about who you are. How many people believe that? Like when you dress a certain type of way, you send a message without saying anything. You see what I'm saying? You send a non-verbal message about who you are and how you want to be taken or seen. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that. They think, okay, well, this is faddish. Okay, being a part of that fad means these are the things that people are going to think about you. And a lot of people, you know, I don't give a damn what nobody thinking. And it sounds good in theory. It sounds good when you say it with a little emotion and conviction and, you know, you beat your chest. It sounds good. But in reality, you know, realistically, that, you know, they invented belts for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know as you get older and more mature, people say, well, I ain't going to do this no more. And I ain't going to do that no more. And I get it. But I just want to send this message out to, you know what I'm saying, some of the brothers out there, whatever case may be, since we was talking about the sisters, I just want to make sure that, man, if you like, you know, over a certain age, you know, sagging your pants, that's not cool. And I don't think women, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think women are going to be like, you know, that's husband material. That's somebody I want to build with. That's somebody I can take serious. If you can't wear your clothes presentable, if you can't, you know what I'm saying, carry yourself in a certain type of manner, I don't think grown women are going to take you serious or whatever case may be.
Clothes.
Facts. I mean, these are all facts.
We have Kay. I know Kay. You have a couple questions.
I haven't heard anything wrong yet. I haven't heard anything.
Verbal abuse. Calling women whores and prostitutes at the pulpit is a form of verbal abuse. I would just like to say that if you did not know. But what are your female clergies? What do they think about your remarks about women?
The women, I have mixed reaction internationally. There's a lot of women that agrees that, yeah, well, he's calling a spade a spade. But you have
or degrading. Do women find your remarks degrading?
Oh yes, some find it degrading.
How about you, Kay? Do you find his remarks?
It really doesn't. Well, my opinion would be I don't want it to, you know, degrade you or saying anything that would offend you, but I don't care what he thinks, so it doesn't matter to me.
Well, see, I respect that. She don't care what I think. Well, let me ask a question. Do you have a daughter?
I do not.
You don't have a daughter.
But my grandmother, may she rest in peace, is she actually led the women in ministry, Lillian Fry Webb.
Okay. If you had a daughter, would you rather have your daughter walk on the street half naked with her breasts hanging out?
Of course not. I mean,
exactly.
Why not?
Well, then there you go.
Certain morals and values, so I know how to dress. I know when is appropriate, what not to do. But I think that if you're going to judge a woman and she's at your church and she decides to go there, and then you're criticizing her and demeaning her, that's not a form of helping someone.
Basically,
So I'm gonna let him finish. But here's the thought process, y'all. I'm telling you right now, if I think that we're all smart enough to say that, and I'm gonna give these two, and it might be a stretch, but I don't think two. If you are in the club, you can't wear that to the daycare. You can't wear that to go pick up your son or your daughter from elementary school. Or you shouldn't wear that. That's just my opinion. So my thought process is no daycare, no schools. Should you be able to wear those same things to the church? Should you be able to wear those same things to the church? Like if I'm a pastor and I'm preaching, I'm giving the word of God. Okay? And you come in my church looking like you going to the club. As the pastor, should I say something, or should I say, well, it is what it is? What y'all think? I want to get y'all feedback on this or whatever, because I think sometimes we're unrealistic about certain things, and I think people feel like, well, it's a freedom of speech for a reason, so it should be a freedom of dress for a reason as well. And I think that sometimes we kind of take it overboard, because if you're there to hear the word of God, you're there to hear the message or whatever, will you be promoting a distraction? Because if it's all about attention in a club, should you be seeking that same attention at church? Y'all let me know in the comments.
I totally disagree. Criticism, there's constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism is one thing, but to criticize and demean is different.
Well, if you calling an individual by what they project to be, how is that demeaning? That is not demeaning.
By how they dress? How do you know what they are on the inside?
No, basically, I am not
It's
saying...
always
if you send a message, if I wear a pimp hat, I got a pimp cane, I'm walking like a pimp, I'm talking like a pimp or whatever, would you consider me not to be a pimp? If I put on a business suit, right? I got my watch, I got my bracelet, I got my cufflinks, I got my tie, I got my briefcase or whatever it can be. Would you consider me to be a businessman? Would you assume that I'm a businessman? I think people are under this impression like, okay, well, I can see you half naked, and then I'm considering you to be a professional. You see what I'm saying? And I think this is the emotional conversation that a lot of women have, and that's why I say I don't think men should get into it. I think that women should have this conversation. Women with women having this conversation that say, okay, well, I'm gonna hold you accountable or responsible, or if that's what you want to do, then girl, do you. But I think a lot of people say, well, I get more attention like this when I do this. I get more attention like this when I do this, so that's why I do it. And my thing about it is, beauty fades. Beauty fades. If a man doesn't love you for your mind, and it's always about your breast and your butt and how it hangs, you know what I'm saying? How it hangs out your shorts and hang out your shirt. I'm telling you right now, he is always going to be on the hunt. Ladies, let me encourage you and remind you, you know what I'm saying? He's always going to be on the hunt. If that's your main asset, is that's how you attract them. That's your main thing you do. He is always going to be on the hunt, and you will never be enough, because there's always somebody with better breasts, better buttocks, or whatever case be. Fellas, there's always somebody with a bigger penis, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to understand, find out why people are attracted to you. For those that's out there dating or whatever, find out what, say, why are you attracted to me? And if the first thing they say, oh, your breasts, oh, your butt, they're always going to be, if they don't say your mind, how you think, you know what I'm saying, other attributes or whatever. Now, a lot of you will all say, okay, well, if I'm attractive, I'm going to attract people because X, Y, Z, yada, yada, yada. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody considers you handsome or cute or sexy or whatever, and I get it. My thing about it is, your initial attraction is the physical attraction, but the overall attraction can't be just the initial attraction. Y'all get what I'm saying? So if the thing that draw me to you is, God, look at her, right? Now that I'm having a conversation with you, we're exchanging dialogue, and you're not saying anything, you know what I'm saying, you're of substance, like you know your worth, you know your value, you have goals and morals. If I'm not attracted to that, then it doesn't matter how you look, because the thought process is I can go find somebody that has standards and knows their worth that looks like you. Let me
Is that
let me know
inside?
what y'all think.
Because of the way they dress, I'm talking about it is the appearance. If I came in here, let me make it a good example.
Okay.
Again, if I came in here and rings on every finger like the bling bling preachers and had my hair processed hanging down, you know, and this loud blood red suit and purple shoes and an apricot shirt
We would
and
judge you.
bright yellow tie.
Give me my example.
Would you really believe I'm a man of God, or would you believe I'm just a straight up pimp and just went in church business to pimp?
I'm gonna think you're
Exactly.
a pimp.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something, because we have B Expo coming up next Saturday. I hope you can come. It's $15. I mean, I think you have that money. Tickets, you can get them at rnbphilly.com. We have Albie Shore, Christopher Williams, Dougie Fresh, Roland Martin, Ernest Pugh, and we have Erica Campbell. Erica Campbell's on our sister station, Praise 107.9. She does mornings as well. And she, you know, she's a gospel singer from Mary, and she dresses like this. Do you have a problem the way Erica Campbell, a woman of the Lord, dresses?
Well, if I didn't know that she said she was a Christian, by looking at her clothes, hugging her body, I wouldn't think so.
That's all.
That's just calling a spade a spade.
Well, I wish I could show you guys the picture. Well, I actually can't, huh? I'll show you the picture. Because I want to be fair with this.
7.9. She does mornings as well. And she, you know, she's a gospel singer from Mary, and she dresses like this. Do you have a problem the way Erica Campbell, a woman of the Lord, dresses?
Well, if I didn't know that she said she was a Christian, by looking at her clothes, hugging her body, I wouldn't think
guy.
so.
Did you show the picture,
That's just
guy?
calling a spade.
Mary, and she dresses like this. Do you have a problem?
There we go.
The way
I do not have a problem with that.
A woman of the Lord.
I didn't have a problem with that at all.
Well,
Let me do it again. Hold on, guy.
Bright yellow tie. Would you really believe
I did not have
I'm
a problem with
man
that
of
at
God,
all.
or would you believe I'm just a straight up pimp and just went in church business to pimp?
I'm gonna think you're
Exactly.
a pimp.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something, because we have B Expo coming up next Saturday. I hope you can come. It's $15. I mean, I think you have that money.
Hold on, man. Hurry up.
Tickets, you can get them at rnbphilly.com. We have
I want to show y'all
Albie
how
Shore,
she's
Christopher
dressed.
Williams, Dougie Fresh, Roland Martin, Ernest Pugh, and we have Erica Campbell.
Okay.
Erica Campbell's on our sister station, Praise 107.9. She does mornings as well. And she, you know, she's a gospel singer from Mary, and she dresses like this. Do you have a problem?
Can y'all see that? Can y'all see this? I mean, y'all get the kind of idea. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I think that's pretty dope. I have no issue with that. I definitely don't have no issue with that.
Way.
I'm gonna say this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I thought that was dope. I thought it was dope. I thought it was sexy, and it still had a sense of a professionalism to it. Hey, I salute that. Now, here's the thing. Now, to wear something like that and it only covers up your nipples, right? So your whole breast is exposed. So you can't do anything. You can't get excited. You can't you can't get excited. You see what I'm saying? You can't get excited. That's different. You see what I'm saying? Or to have it so that way your whole buttocks is showing. Like I think that is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of guys are saying. But I'm gonna tell you what the pushback is. The pushback is that a lot of women tell me that a lot of men don't have an issue with that. That's what they're into. That's what they want. So that's what they do. So I don't think the competition is with the women. I think the competition is with the men. The more revealing I am, the more men that I get. See what I'm saying? And I think that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, I don't want anyone to lose themselves trying to attract someone that's no good for them. If a man is interested in you, he's going to get interested in your mind. It is great that you got a nice body. It's great that you diet. It's all great. But he's going to get interested in your mind. And if he's not trying to get interested in your mind, I'm telling you right now, he's always going to be on the hunt for the next best body. The next best body.
Erica Campbell, a woman of the Lord, dresses.
Well, if I didn't know that she said she was a Christian, by looking at her clothes, hugging her body, I wouldn't think so.
Real Queen says, I think that's where the distraction come from. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. You know, I'm excited to see a woman that's confident. Yeah, I definitely think she looks fine. I thought she looked fine. I was like, hey, that's cool. That's great. That's great. I think people just go overboard because they don't know, you know, variance. They don't know variance. I think people just go overboard because they don't know. They've never been taught. It's just like with men. It's like there's a certain type of there's a difference between the Steve Harvey suits and the suits of today. You know what I'm saying? Like European suits. There's different. There's a different, like, your suit can't be baggy. You remember Steve Harvey and the Kings of Comedy? Like all of their suits was like super baggy. Like those suits are not in. Like it needs to be kind of, you know, refined. And I think that's probably what needs to happen with a lot of women, because they really don't have anybody to kind of coach them. So everybody's kind of like, well, I'm gonna look to the celebrities. And of course, entertainers want to stand out. They want to say, okay, I'm the baddest, so I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna wear that. But now you have people that are everyday people saying, okay, I'm just gonna put this on. You see what I'm saying? To stand out in X, Y, and Z. And I think what's happening is it's amazing how you could look like $1 million at the club, you know, $1 million, but not have $1 in the bank. You know, $1 million, but not have a dollar in the bank or whatever case may be, you know, but you half naked. You see what I'm saying? You trying to attract somebody with money. Well, this is a news flash for you ladies. Fellas are doing the same thing. Fellas are saying, okay, well, if I go get these shoes and I go get this chain and I go do this and I go do that, I'm gonna look like, so it's a bunch of broke people in the club trying to impress each other. That has no assets, that has no property, that has no car, that don't have no house. Like it's a bunch of people trying to impress each other, and none of y'all got anything. Y'all spending y'all PP loan in the club, shots, spending your child support money, your tax return. Like, come on, man. I'm just saying, man. It's a lot of people. You know, it's okay to look your best and carry yourself a certain type of way. But I'm telling you right now, make sure that the person that you with, they're with you because your mind, not because, oh, you got the biggest ass in the city. So, you know, I'm with you. You know, hey, you, when you in them jogging pants, you know, that print. So, I mean, make sure that people are with you for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I saw how
that's just calling a spade a
closely you were
spade.
staring at that picture as well.
I wouldn't think she's a Christian at all. If a woman is modest, she's not dressing in a manner that appears to be sexual, like she's drawing sexual attention to herself.
That's like having a
woman's
bag
body
with no money
is sacred. The Bible speaks plain. Your body is the temple of the living God.
He talking.
And if our body, whether we are man or woman, if our body is a temple for the living God, then we should conduct our body in that manner. And when we walk in a public and people look at us, our women should not be on display. If
women on display, men on display, people on display. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Okay, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I appreciate y'all rocking with me or whatever case it be. I know, like I said, a lot of people, when they start talking about religion and politics, you know, people kind of shy away from the subject, but I appreciate you guys rocking with this conversation. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel good. Okay? But understand that just because you're comfortable and you're happy with it, other people may not. And other people may be vocal about their discomfort with what you do, just like with Lizzo, you know, the things that Lizzo do from time to time. So when you come under scrutiny or you come under fire, that is going to test your true comfort level. That's going to test your true comfort level. Well, you know, when someone says, well, why are you wearing that? You too big to be. And you break down and start crying like, well, I thought you was comfortable. I thought you was living your best life. So a lot of people, they do promote a false confidence, and they do hope that what they do or what they wear is going to validate who they want to portray to be. My thought process is wear something that you can be proud of. When you're going somewhere and you feel like, you know what, man, I am going to the opera, I'm going to the zoo, I'm going to the church, I'm going to the daycare. Make sure you're wearing something that you can be comfortable in, that you are proud of. You understand what I'm saying? Ladies, if a man says, you know, I want my woman to wear a little bit more clothing. I don't want her to be revealed. I don't want her to feel like, you know, she's exposed to the world or whatever. Take heed to that. Take heed to that. Like, I was dating a female. She was like, you can't wear jogging pants. You cannot wear gray sweatpants. And I was like, well, shit, I want to be comfortable. You know, I'm okay with that. But she wasn't okay with that. You see what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, make sure that you, when you talk to your significant other or the person that you're dating, um, make sure that you're comfortable, but the person that you're with is comfortable. I think that's the only time that you should be really giving advice and really, you know, having that conversation. But a random person, for men to be like, oh, well, let me talk to all these women and tell these women what they can wear, what they can't wear. I think that you're overreaching your level of authority. I think you overreach, and I think you over, and I'm not trying to just, you know, gaslight the women or whatever, but I'm just saying I feel like you're overreaching. Like, if you're dating a woman and you feel like, hey, this is what I like, or this is what I'm comfortable with, then you express your feelings to the person that you share those intimate moments with, that you care about. But I think for you to try to project your, like, what a woman should wear and what a woman can't, bro, we got enough things to worry about as men. We got enough things to worry about and enough things that we have to do and get our game right as men. So, you know, anybody want to reach out, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that want to reach out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let me know, whatever case be. This is a topic that I just wanted to address because I want to kind of provide some balance. I want to be a common denominator, whatever. And I realize it's some people that don't believe in God. Young Pharaoh said he getting abducted by aliens. So I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out. But the fact of the matter is, I think that we use religion as, you know, we've weaponized religion, and we've told people what you can do, who you can believe in, who you can't believe in, how you need to dress, etc., etc. And some people are saying, well, why should I be a Christian when I get all of the perks of dressing how Christians dress? So if you are a Christian and you whatever it is that you believe in or whatever case be, fix your own house. You understand what I'm saying? Fix your own house. Make sure that the people that you say are Christians or Buddhists or Muslims, fix your own house before you try to say, let me police the world up. The people that subscribe to your narrative, that believe in your rhetoric, that read your books and sing your hymns, make sure that y'all good before you start saying, well, let me talk to the people in the club. I don't know if they're going to listen. But the fact of the matter is, man, I'm hoping that you guys are confident in your own skin. I'm hoping that you are building up your self-worth. Yes, I said building up your self-worth, because it is a process. It is a process. And sometimes how confident you were at 15, the confidence should be even stronger at 25. Stronger than that at 35. So if you're not building up your self-confidence, I can tell you that you're cutting yourself short. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tough Love. I'm Mario J. Until next time, again, I normally say adult up. I'm going to say be comfortable in your own skin. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notification. I know some people was like, when you going live, I'm missing it. Make sure you hit the bell for notification. I appreciate you all. You guys are phenomenal. So I'll make sure I go back and read the comments or whatever case may be. Share this. You know, let's get some people in this conversation or whatever case may be. I appreciate y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.